What's up guys, this is DJ New World and welcome back to another one of my videos. This video is going to be me talking about a pretty serious topic. I wanted to talk about prej prejudice people or being prejudiced. Main reason is because, you know, I think like a lot of people one of the better people to talk about prejudice because, I've dealt with prejudice and racism throughout my whole entire life. Um, the main reason I wanted to talk about it is because it's something I'm currently dealing with. Um, and a lot of people don't know the difference between prejudice and racism. Um, so I'm going to start off by saying, giving a brief explanation of racism. Racism is when you think your race is superior to another race. Um, a lot of times, prejudice and racism are seen as the same thing because it's just like, um, if you're being prejudiced, clearly you're also being racist. But a lot of times, when it comes to people that are being prejudiced, it's only because they don't know of a different race. So they're not thinking that they're superior. They're thinking, oh, from media and what I've been told about this particular race is like, oh, this is what it is, rather than, me personally, I don't go by that belief system. I go by the fact that each person's different, and when you look at each person, you're supposed to go, um, each person's different and they have their own belief system. Doesn't matter where they were raised or what time period. Like like the other day, best example of this in my life is I talked to this old guy that I know that he's like a teacher of mine, and um, from the way he talked, he was a Republican, and I like talking to people of different parties, different religions, and because I seek understanding from everybody, and that's how you limit prejudice is when you actively seek out understanding of your fellow man. And I use man as like, a catalyst, but it not exactly man itself, humanity as a whole. In order to understand one another, we have to actively seek out information about each other, or prejudice will always be a thing. Racism, on the other hand, um, didn't really want to get into this about probably more in-depth video on racism itself, but racism in itself can easily be stopped. Is the best way to go about this is looking at each person and going, my race isn't above yours, only time, and going, I have my strengths and weaknesses, so do that person, and approach it like that. When you approach it like that, then you can't be racist in the slightest because you know that you have weaknesses, and given the fact that we're all human, we have similar weaknesses. You know, like best example of this is me. Uh, you know, most people have a weakness to getting shot or stabbed. You can't be superior to another race if you could die like everybody else. That's how you limit racism. Prejudice, you know, actively seeking out understanding. And the best example for this, another example for this is throughout my life, is I through middle school into high school. Not many people in my family knew this, but I went through a bit of a spiritual journey, in the sense that um, I actively sought out different religions, understanding of said religions, and how their religious beliefs could play a role in my life. And that's what I had to do, personally speaking. I don't recommend it for everybody because, you have to spend years of your life uh, trying to understand these different religions, different races, But the best way to go about it is making that first step to try to understand someone else's point of view. That that's what um me today versus me uh 10 maybe 15 years ago uh was a different person. Yeah, I understood people pretty well, but at the time when I was younger, because I was dealing with so much prejudice and racism that, you know, I didn't spend as much time as I should have trying to understand people's point of view and why they were innately fearful of me. And in a sense, I get it now, but at the same time, growing up as a child and dealing with that, it's hard because you're like, I was taught to never uh, prejudge people, and when I got prejudged, I looked at it as like, um, what did I ever do to you? Like, I don't know you, and I tried to give you a benefit of doubt. In a way, it crushes people's spirit when you deal with when they're dealing with prejudice. Um, Part of the reason I wanted to make this video is because it's something I was personally going through, and as well as me personally going through this is to get the word out, because like there's a lot of topics that I'm going to cover um in these discussion videos. I'm going to do more gaming stuff because I have pre-ordered a few games that I'm going to get pretty soon here, and do that still because it's important to me. But there's more importantly than the gaming stuff, because I do enjoy having my fun and making these gaming videos. I do like the discussion videos for the simple fact that like it gives me the opportunity to discuss serious topics, um, topics that most people are not willing to even glance at, let alone speak about, because as a society we're just like, when it comes to certain topics, it's like, oh, we don't talk about that because it's became the norm. And the way I see it is like nothing negative should be the norm. And I will get into more detail of that topic in a later video. But if you made it all the way through the video, like and subscribe for more. I will be doing more discussion videos like this, hitting big topics. Um, Sky's the limit with stuff that I'm going to try to talk about, that I'm going to try to do research about, stuff that I am very interested in and I believe people should know. Um, like, for example, for like I said, with prejudice, most people know about it. People know of it. They just don't know when they're doing it. Another, like I said at the beginning of the video, prejudice is when you innately judge someone based on, hearsay or um, what you've been told, not uh, not actually, putting the effort to know said person. And that in itself is a wrong way of thinking, because it limits your growth as a person. It limits your growth as a person. It limits your growth mentally and physically, because in a mental sense, the more you know, the more capable you are in every situation. And physically, it limits your opportunities, because, say for example, if you're being prejudiced in a job scenario, that's limits your career options, because of the simple fact that, say for example, this manager of this restaurant you're working at, and you say something prejudiced, and they know another manager from another restaurant, they tell them, and then that just limits your options, because you know a lot of times these managers and CEOs of big companies, they do go to conventions with each other, you know, to in a way steal ideals from each other, and other ways to um, do merger options. And That'll limit your options if you're just innately prejudiced and you're outward saying this and you're just like hold your tongue, think before you speak. Uh, Try to give someone the benefit of the doubt before you just innately be like, oh, clearly because you're this race or this religion, you believe this, and then you get that one person that like, oh yeah, I may like best example of this is like I may have been born in India, but that doesn't make me Muslim or Buddhist or Arabic. That person could be, Christian. It doesn't happen a lot, but you don't want to assume. It's like oh, clearly you don't understand my religion because you're Arabic or Muslim. It's like, no, I understand it because I am actually Christian. That you're in that situation where you prejudged and you didn't have to. And I'm actually gonna end the video right here because I'm going a little bit of too far of a tangent. Like and subscribe for more. DJ New World out. Peace.